What's up, everyone? Juice Daddy here, back in the GameCube with another quick pickup video of some of the stuff I've been picking up lately here in my passenger seat. Actually, stuff I've been picking up over the past few months. As I've said in the past couple pickup videos, I've been on an NES kick. I've been trying to fill in my NES collection with some games that are just maybe harder or rarer to find. I'm not finding out at the garage sales and all the bundles. But not necessarily expensive games, not the pricey ones. You know, I'll get to that in just a minute. But first, as I've said in the past couple videos, I'm trying to redo my apartment, and it's not fun to shoot videos in there with boxes and stuff not where I want it. So I am here. I'm in Bozeman. I'm at the top of our downtown parking garage, which I've never been in here, which it's not, you know, fancy. It's a smaller city parking garage, but we got some good stuff around here. Let me see if I can. We got the view of the Bridger Mountains back there. Don't know if you'll be able to see it if I put the camera out the window. That's where our M hiking trail is. That M that's on the mountains, I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. That's a great place. I'm filming this on the 4th of July, about 5 o'clock. So right before fireworks are going to be kicking off all around town. If you can hike up to that M, which I'm a fat ass, so I don't do it very often. But if you get up there, that's a great place to view the fireworks because you see everybody else in the city blowing up. Well, there's one. We got the Element Hotel, which is kind of a newer hotel. Over here, that building kind of behind the parking symbol is the 5 West building. Dead ahead, we have the Armory, which is the new fancy hotel set to open in the fall. It's going to be pricey. It's got the rooftop pool. It's got like a 1,000 seat concert hall. It's got like 3 different restaurants. It's got all sorts of stuff. And they built it on top of our old National Guard Armory that's been here since like the 30s. And you can't see it from there, but the base of it, they pretty much kept the shell of the existing armory and built up on top of that. Hotel Baxter, I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see that. That is one of the most historical places in downtown Bozeman. It's not actually a hotel anymore, but it is a fixture in downtown with a couple of restaurants and bars and little hangout. And, you know, the rest of our Bozeman rooftop. You see our post office federal building over in the distance, and this might not be a bad place to watch fireworks either. You don't have to pay after 2 hours. Anywho, a little quick, I love this view of the Bridgers. This might not be a bad place. Maybe worth paying the $1 an hour parking to watch some fireworks from here. I may come back here later. Anyway, I brought a ton of stuff out from Casa de Juice Daddy to show here. Let's just get started. I know I've promised for a couple videos that amongst all the NES games I've been picking up, I did pick up one TurboGrafx game. And here it is. It is Tricky Kick. Look at that. Tricky Kick. The cart's in good condition. That's the manual. Of course, you can't call these complete because TurboGrafx games came in a longer sleeve, but it's complete for my purposes with the case, the manual, and the game in there looking good. All right. Some of these I'm going to have trouble remembering where I picked them up at, so I apologize ahead of time. Ratchet Deadlocked and Ratchet Going Commando. Where did I get these? Complete. This back is in bad shape. I know I picked these up basically for the purpose of bundling them with a PS2, which I've got a couple PS2s I need to sell right now, so, you know, that was good. I can't imagine I paid more than $1 or $2 for those. I picked this up off of eBay, Deadly Creatures on the Wii. I've had a disc-only version for forever. Oh, look, I bought it from In the Zone Video Games. Oh, we got skateboarders up here. Cool. So, in bikinis. You want me to turn the camera back around? But I've wanted a complete version for a while. Probably like $12 I paid for this. Can't believe this isn't going for more after all these years. It's a really fun game. It's a unique game. You play as a spider. It's got Billy Bob Thornton and Dennis Hopper in it. Pretty interesting. This little stack of Xbox 360 games I picked up for $20 off of Facebook Marketplace, I believe. He had another game with it. He had Alien Colonial Marines, and he wanted $25 for the bundle. He's like, $5 a game, $25 for the bundle. It was 6 games. Somebody paid him the $5. Oh, they're videotaping their jumps. Oh, okay. So somebody paid him $5 separate for Aliens Colonial Marines. He's like, dude, I'm really sorry somebody bought that. But I got the rest. I'll do it for $20. I'm like, I'll pay you $20 for this stack. So what we have here, the worst condition one is Ghostbusters, because it's in this like blank shell and it's disc only. But I do have this for PS3, and I can definitely, I've got plenty of spare Xbox 360 cases. I may even have the manual, but that's cool. Tomb Raider Anniversary. I know I've got this for the Wii, but now here we have it on 360. Okay. But it is complete. It's got an old GameStop holder dealio right there. Yeah. I think that goes for, like, all these games, for the most part, go for like 10 to 15 each, I think. This one used to go for a lot more, Splinter Cell Blacklist. This game used to flip, like GameStop would give you like 25 credit for it. Both discs are in there. Way of the Samurai 3 may be the least valuable of these games. It is complete. The case is busted down here. Once again, I've got spare 360 cases up the wazoo right now. And finally, a great find. Forgot what this is going for these days. I think around 30-ish. Metal Gear Solid HD collection for 360. Once again, complete. All the discs are perfect and just great. $20 was a steal for that. And is a perfect social distancing pickup. He said, I'm going to leave my games on the porch. Please put the $20 under my doormat. Okay. You got it. Let's see. I pulled this out of a thrift store in Billings, Montana for $5. Hey, you Pikachu. With the intent of trying to double my money in a flip. Because I don't need it. All right. Also in Billings, Montana, for $20, which I thought was a good price. It goes for maybe a little bit more, but it's not a pricey game, but it's in really good condition. Castle Shikigami 2 for PlayStation 2. A nice vertical shoot 'em up for the PS2. It is complete. $20 I thought was a really good price for that. Also in Billings, I think I'm going through my Billings pickups right now. At a pawn shop. I'm sitting here going through like the Wii, PS3, 360 games, because they're like, you can buy them for $5 each or 5 for 20 or something. So I'm trying to get 5 games. Had a couple in my hand, and I just see this in the case. There's no price on it. I get a worker to come over. He looks at it like, wow, that's really rare. You don't see that very often. I'm asking him, well, how much do you want for it? Thinking I'm in a pawn shop. He's already talking about its rarity. He's going to talk like $40. He's like, oh, how about 10? Done. Grandia 2 for the Dreamcast. $10. Missing the manual and also missing the soundtrack disc. But the game disc is in there. It's in good condition. Case has a crack here in front, but otherwise it's in okay condition. Yeah. Happy to add that to the old Dreamcast collection. All right, let's get some NES games out of the way, or done. Like I said, I'm going to try to remember some of the prices that I paid for these. Just expect, like, if I paid around price charting. If I got a deal, I'll tell you I got a deal. I don't think I overpaid for anything, because none of these are things I needed. Whoo! That was a good one. None of these were things I absolutely had to have in the collection. Like, I absolutely need to have this game. So, yeah, just assume I paid round price charting. We have Magician. I think I paid her like $35 for this, with the manual, which are the Adventurer's Handbook. I'm sorry. Hi. Which is the manual, I guess. I don't like that the manual is like a PS2 manual for an NES game. But anyway. Did I get this off eBay or Mercari? Got it off eBay, I believe. Alright, so Magician. How should we start this? We should do Natless game. Grand Slam Golf. Like $10 to $12, I think I paid for that. Kiwi Craze. A game I should have picked up from the local game store when I had a chance. Space Shuttle Project. I know he had it, and I think he wanted like $15 for it. I think that's about what I wound up paying this, like the eBay seller. Tubin, little Tenjin title. Remember that from the arcade. Was not very good at it. I think, okay, this is one of the earlier ones. I'm like, I'm gonna go for titles I just never see. I've never seen in a game store. I've never seen at a garage sale. Never seen at a pawn shop. Mappy Land, paid around $15, and yeah, remember this from the arcade too. And this was kind of got me going, and you know, between using price charting, I was using the Ultimate NES guidebook from Pat the NES Punk, more specifically the app, because he's, you know, he's kind of got the rare, not the rare, the current rarity, but like the rarity of like even when it came out. And just like as I've said before, the NES has a lot of uncommon, harder to find games that aren't necessarily the $200, $300, $400, $500 games. Mappy Land, I'm not saying it's rare, but I've never come across it. This is the first time I've ever seen that title. I believe the next six games I bought at a retro store in Billings, Montana, on my Billings trip. WWF King of the Ring, which was the last WWF NES game that I needed. I think he had this for $20, which is about right. High Speed Pinball. Dr. Chaos. Same store I got the Castle of Shikigami from. Rampart, which is an NES game I've been wanting for a while. It looks really good on the NES. I mean, it looks better on Genesis and Super Nintendo, but I think it looks pretty good on NES. And Starship Hector. A shooter for the NES, although I don't think it's very good. But in all these, for the most part, I think the worst condition game out of all I just showed you for the NES is this King of the Ring. And I think it's just dirty. I think I just need to give it a scrub. Oh, I think I got that in Billings too. City Connection. Absolutely. Alright, so there goes my Billings trip. I think I got everything I got in Billings just now. Once again on my eBay kick, this was rated pretty well in the guidebook, and I found a cart only for, God, I can't remember the price, but then I found this for like $5 more, and I was like, why not? Castle of Dragon for the NES in the box. Box is in pretty decent shape. I mean, it's not perfect by any stretch, but it does have the styrofoam in there. No manual. I think the cart only that was on eBay was in pretty rough shape. This one's, you know, got some stickers and whatnot because it looks like it was a former rental from the Golden Way, 207 South Park Street in Merrill, Wisconsin. They still in business? I don't know. I think WT must have bought them after Golden Way stopped renting out Nintendo games. Does have a sleeve in there. Yeah, no manual or anything. Just game and box. I want to say I paid less than $40 for this. So I thought that was pretty cool to get a box NES game. Okay. So that's it for that box. Everything in the bag here, well, almost everything. I'm going to put this aside. That's going to be saved for last. Everything in the bag here is the contents of my road trip to Missoula, Montana, just a few weeks ago. Missoula, Montana, I've never spent much time there. I went there for football in high school and college. I was a team manager, and we were the enemy because we were from Bozeman, so I got heckled and trashed. I had shit thrown at me. M&Ms were tossed in. Like, I was a sophomore in high school. Our family had just moved back here to Bozeman, and these jackasses are throwing M&Ms at me. Oh, fuck Missoula. But Missoula's a really pretty town. It's got a nice river going right through the center of town called the Clark Fork. It's beautiful. I really enjoyed my time there. I've got some people that I know there, and I had dinner with one and lunch with another one the next day. So overall, it was a good trip, and I found some decent stuff. The very last thing I found on my way out of town, I stopped in East Missoula to one little pawn shop, and they had a couple of NES games, but what caught my eye was a Super Tecmo Bowl for the Genesis, complete and in pretty decent condition. They had it for $10. I was like, I'll take that, and I'll add that to my Genesis collection. There's currently two retro game stores in Missoula. One's like deals more in retro games. It's a big store in the mall. They actually just opened another location. The owners were out of town in Billings, opening a location in Billings when I was there. So now I'm like trying to plan another Billings trip, because now there's 2.5 retro video game stores in Billings. There's the one that I always go to, Trademark Games. Now there's a Fun Trade, and then there's a place that mostly deals in old toys, but now that they also do games. Anyway, this place, I forgot what it was called, is mostly like a comic book and like a tabletop game place, Warhammer and shit like that I'm not into. It's raining, I gotta roll my windows. Anyway, they have a pretty decent collection of old games. Start the car so I keep the AC running. They had a pristine copy of Snow Brothers for the NES, but they wanted $240 for it, and I just couldn't justify that when I know there's a Snow Brothers on Macari right now that's down to like $200 even. I can't justify. I'm not paying a $40 VIG to you guys when like they're charging less. Anyway, from there, just a couple. These were like $7 or $8 a piece. Barker Bill's Trick Shooting and Loops, which I've never heard of before. And my better find at that store was Star Soldier Vanishing Earth for the Nintendo 64. I think the only shooter, like shoot 'em up, on the N64. I believe. I could be wrong. I don't think I am though. That was $20. I've been eyeing buying this game for like a year or two off eBay, and the lowest price I've ever seen is like $25 or $26. So seeing it just sitting in their case for $20, I was really happy for that. A pawn shop pickup up there. This was the first pawn shop I visited. I went to the place in the mall, and I bought a few of these games. And then before going to my hotel, I checked out a pawn shop that was close by. They had these 3 Nintendo games in there. I had them all. These are just kind of for, trade bait, bundle up, whatever. Because they wanted $3 a piece. And I was like, $3 for NES games? Okay. We got Rad Racer, Hogan's Alley, and Golf. So $9 total for, the 3 NES games with the sleeves and whatnot. If anything, I could sell them for $5 a piece and make a minimal profit. Alright, my finds from the retro video game store, I'm kind of doing reverse order. I went and visited just to double check and make sure I didn't just miss anything obvious before heading out of town. I stayed overnight in a hotel. Great, like I said, great experience. And I didn't really find anything like obvious, but I did see the Snk Arcade Classics for Wii. I think they had this for, well, there it is. They had it for $9.99 right there, which I thought, I think it goes for around $20. So I don't know if I caught them slipping, but I know I caught them slipping on this. I wish I'd kept the price tag. But this is kind of a harder to find Sega Master System game, and they didn't have a price on it. So I took it up to the person. I'm like, what are you asking for this? And he looks at, you know, sports game, $7. I'm like, okay. Joe Montana football for Sega Master System. Complete, just perfect condition. Looks awesome. Still has a hang tab on the thing. Joe Montana football complete for the Sega Master System is like a $20 to $25 game. I got it for $7. That's what I found at this particular store in Missoula, this Fun Trade. They either, especially for the bigger titles, the more pricier titles, they were very rarely right on the nose. They were either way over, like, why are you charging that much for this game? Or, I think I caught you slipping a little bit. Just a little bit. And there's one in here for the NES you're about to see. I think I did cut that one. Alright. So, let's see. I haven't even unwrapped these. $9.99 for Muscle. $9.99 for Mighty Bomb Jack. If I had bought this on eBay, I may have saved a buck or two, but... And $9.99 for 8 Eyes, which is surprising, because I have seen this game at the local retro store when it existed 100 times, and I've never bought it. So, I was absolutely surprised it was not in my collection anymore. Here's a game I think I really caught him slipping on. For $19.99, Ultimate Air Combat. I think this is a $40 game. It's got an old, somebody tried to rip off a rental tag on the back, but otherwise it's in pretty decent condition. Label's looking good. And I think this is about a $45 to $50 game. So I got it for $39.99. It's Widget, an Atlas title for the NES, in really decent condition. Look at that. So I think I made out pretty well at that store, and I definitely want to go check out their Billings location, because the people who were working there that weekend were telling me, like, oh yeah, they took a lot of our better stock and went down there. I was kind of upset because I still have it in the back seat, a box I took there specifically to trade in at Fun Trade. Just stuff I don't want to take the time selling myself. A couple PS2s, there's a PS3, there's some games, there's some controllers. But neither one of the employees working both days were taking trade-ins, because the people who took the trade-ins were opening the store in Billings. So, and it's kind of a shame, because people were coming in asking, do you have any PS2s? Oh no, we're sold out. And I'm like, I've got 2 you won't trade in right now. Oh well. I don't think they had a Wii in stock. I'm like, I got a Wii. You'll take a trade-in, I got a Wii. Alright, one more title. Yeah, I started this little, like, kick by trying to find NES games that were rarer or more uncommon, but not necessarily the pricier ones. But because I've made a lot of sales on eBay, on Macari, and I got the promotion at work or whatnot, and because garage sales were at the time vanishing, they're coming back a little bit, I had, you know, money to spare. Game money. And so I picked up Dragon Fighter for the NES. Look at that. I will tell you, since some of you want the price on this, I think Price Charting has this around $280 in value. This one, I believe the person had on sale on eBay for $360. But I had a coupon, or I used some sort of coupon that I think it was a 10% one. So I got this down to like $330. Which, you know, okay, it's above Price Charting, but I think Price Charting tends to run low. It's in overall good condition. I'm just noticing there's something on the label. Doesn't look like a tear. It just looks like a... Oh, it's gunk. It's like tape gunk. If I'm careful, I can just get it off. I can get it off right now, even. Huh. Really decent condition. Really well reviewed. It's kind of like a shooter. It's kind of like a cross between a platform and a shooter. Really good game according to everything I've read about it. So I'm happy to have this in my NES collection. Alright, so there are some recent pickups in Juice Daddy World. God, raining on 4th of July. That sucks for people. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, folks. Anyway, how you guys doing? I see some garage sales on YouTube picking up in some places. We had 2 weeks, in the last couple of weeks, that there were garage sales, but there's not a whole lot of gaming stuff going on. You saw in my last video about the extent of the gaming stuff I've been getting. Got that Xbox, I got the PS2 bundle, but the PS2 didn't work, and I picked up a ton of controllers. That's about it. Let's see, what coming up in Juice Daddy World? I still have more NES games I haven't showed you yet that I picked up. I think I'm going to play another road trip to Billings. I took a day off work. I took a Friday to give myself a 3-day weekend. That's coming up. And I just made arrangements with a local collector to go visit his wares tomorrow. He said he's going to be selling some of his NES games. He'd be willing to sell them to me for $5 a pop. Don't think I'm going to get any heavy hitters or anything major, but $5 a game, you can definitely do a whole lot worse than $5 a game. So I'm hoping to have some more backfill and maybe even pick up some stuff that, you know, if he's selling for $5, I can flip for 10 or 15 myself. So that's coming up tomorrow, so can't wait. Very excited to be able to go dig through a collection and maybe get some games. I'm gonna get out of here. It's starting to rain. Like and subscribe if you wish. I'll see you soon.